Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, 2 years ago, I made a video about Tesla's neck-breaking speed of innovation. After I had talked with Joe Juster about how Tesla is running their factories using AI and employees with digital self-management. And this is really what sets Tesla apart from anyone else in the industry. As they say at Tesla, there are no bosses. Your manager is data. But in that video, I also talked about what Tesla was aiming for and what Volkswagen was aiming for and the debt they both had and so on. So I thought it would be a fun little exercise to take a look back and see how Tesla and Volkswagen are actually doing compared to what they promised and how they're doing financially compared to just 2 years ago. Because a lot has happened, and Tesla has become even more efficient with its AI running their companies. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So as you probably know, if you are a regular viewer of this channel, Tesla has AI running their factory. Every step in the production line has AI checking if the production is ready to go to the next phase, and constantly checking everything in the car, in every single car that comes through the factory. And this is very different compared to any other automaker, and the others will never have the same pace of innovation as Tesla has, as long as they don't run their factories in the same way. But they can't, because what Tesla has is not something you can buy. So it doesn't matter how many $1 billion the old legacy automakers have, they can't go buy what Tesla has, as Tesla had created all their software themselves. So if you want it, you have to make it yourself. And we already have seen how bad at software the legacy automakers are, or completely lack thereof, as they don't make their own software at all. It's all from the third-party suppliers. For them to create all this kind of digital self-management system that runs the whole factory and so on, and make it possible to make changes every single day pretty much for free, would simply be too daunting a task for the legacy automakers. They would never get that done in time. But Tesla makes all of their own software, including the ones running the company. As we also saw back in February of this year, Tesla filed for a trademark Tesla One, a software program that is intended to cover the categories of downloadable computer software in the nature of a mobile application for document management, workforce timekeeping and scheduling, analyzing of employees' time and activity, tracking purchases, order and returns, completing customizable comment form, and database management. So an all-in-one app for Tesla's employees, where they can track everything about themselves and the factories. But as this software didn't exist, Tesla made it themselves. No one of the other OEM has this kind of in-house software capabilities. And why in the 2 years from I made that video about Tesla's neck-breaking pace of innovation, no one has really gotten any closer to catching up to Tesla in production capabilities and cost. And one of the things that set Tesla's pace of innovation apart from everyone else is their ability to get certification for a new design and changes of a product. Certification is still the bottleneck of how fast you can make innovation, as when you come up with something new, you need to get it certified, and that can take a long time. But Tesla has also automated this process. Some car companies make a certification for a big change every 5 years, or medium changes every 2 years, or 3 months for something small. But Tesla does this daily. And that is why Tesla has been able to cut costs on pretty much every single aspect of the production and the company in general, as they also showed us at Investor Day. As we can see on this chart, the Tesla Model 3 has dropped about 30% in cost over just 4 years. And a very good example of Tesla's continuous cost reduction is that they just released the refreshed Model 3 with a lot of more features and functionalities. All in all, a much better car with more luxurious features and materials, but the price stayed pretty much the same. This is very rare in the auto industry. Normally, the old legacy automakers hopes to only have the new car being slightly more expensive and costly for them to produce than the older version. Their price usually goes up. As Bob Lutz also said 4 to 5 years ago, with his 42 years of experience, he could say that economy of scale did not work in the automotive industry.
Because I have news for you, 42 years of experience. The cost of a car doesn't come down proportional to its size.
So yes, that might have been true for the old legacy automakers, but Tesla showed it was not true for the way they were making cars. And Tesla is a very new car company with new technology, so Wright's law would also work in their favor, something the old guys has gone through with their ICE cars back in the days. But for them to get a cumulative doubling of their production of ICE cars would take a very long time, as they have already produced hundreds and hundreds of millions of cars through the last 100 years. So they would not benefit much from Wright's law anymore, but Tesla, that has just gotten started and with a whole new technology, would see significantly cost reduction rapidly, as they will constantly see cumulative doubling of their production. As I have also shown before, Tesla will probably see 4 cumulative doubling this decade, cutting cost of production by up to 25% each time, according to ARK Invest. And Tesla has also shown us just how good they are at cutting cost on their production lines, as they showed this graph showing the Tesla Model Y output rising rapidly while Tesla's labor hours reducing rapidly. Just very, very impressive. So Tesla continues to get more and more efficient as a company and get more and more out of their factories. As we have also seen, they earn more and more money on the bottom line and have already far surpassed the other legacy automakers like Ford and GM when it comes to net income. And in the video I made 2 years ago, I talked about how Tesla was using digital self-management to improve everything every single day and cut costs, and they had already cut their debt from almost $12 billion to $6 billion. And how Volkswagen had $250 billion in debt and would not come out with anything that could match Tesla's production speed before 2026 with their Trinity platform. But what has happened in the last 2 years since that video? Well, Tesla continues to cut costs and has become the most profitable car company on the planet when it comes to automotive gross margin, and have got rid of pretty much all the long-term debt, and today has less than $1 billion in debt, and are on track to grow with the 50% compound annual growth rate from 2020's numbers as they promised. Volkswagen, on the other hand, has now over $622 billion in debt. Deducting the reported equity of 181 billion euros, what remains is essentially just dead. So they today have over $428 billion in debt. And they are actually falling short of the EV production targets they had set back then. Firstly, they expected that the Volkswagen brand would produce 1.5 million e-cars by the year 2025, and the ID.4 would account for around 1/3 of this, so about 500,000 ID.4s in 2025. Last year, the entire Volkswagen Group sold 572,000 units, with the whole ID family and Audi and Skoda and Seat and Porsche and more, and Volkswagen had a BEV production target of 750,000 units for 2021. And as people only expected Tesla to grow by 50% from their 500,000 units sold in 2020, everyone was talking about how 2021 would be the year that Volkswagen could catch up to Tesla. But in 2021, Tesla produced 937,000 units, and the entire Volkswagen Group sold 452,000 BEVs. And Volkswagen still have to get to the 750,000 units in annual sales they promised for 2021. If they are lucky, they might get there this year, but Volkswagen is slowing down their EV production, so I am not very confident in that number this year either. But Tesla will be above 1.8 million units this year, and the promised Trinity platform in 2026 has been delayed to at least 2029. So has the new revolutionary factory that should be able to catch up with Tesla's production speed and cost from 2021. So Volkswagen has fallen very short of all their promises on the EV production, and the debt has almost doubled in just these 2 years. At the same time, Tesla has executed on their 50% compound annual growth rate since 2020 numbers and has grown their business in unit sales about 3.5 times and become a money printing machine with the best profits on their cars in the industry and practically no debt. So yes, Elon might not have been very accurate in his prediction of a full self-driving car, but when it comes to production and execution in the production of EVs, he has been right on the money. Tesla has reinvented the whole way we build a car, shown the world a whole new way of doing things, leading Tesla to profitability and growth, the likes of which we have never seen before in the automotive industry. But on the other hand, we have seen all the big ones, not just Volkswagen, but also Ford and GM as well, only collecting more debt, backing down on their EV production promises, and are still losing mountains of money on every EV they sell. And as they are not a software company that has created an AI system that is running their whole factory, they have no chance in hell to catch up to the ever-moving target of Tesla that is just constantly speeding up, while the others are now starting to even put the foot on the brake. So it's very clear to see that Tesla is executing and the growth continues, and Tesla is in a much better spot today than 2 years ago. And it's only becoming more and more clear that the old guys are in a worse place today than they said they would be just 2 years ago. I cannot see how they should be able to turn this very fast sinking ship around. Yes, they have grown a little bit in EV production, but someone like Volkswagen's debt is bigger than most countries, and they are losing an insane amount of money on their EV production, and they are not ramping up the production as fast as they thought and said they would. This will not end well for the old guys, and it will be very expensive for the taxpayers of Germany and the US to bail them out. And meanwhile, Toyota is trying to copy Tesla's gigacasting and production method. Tesla has already shown us their next generation vehicle production method that will cut the cost for Tesla to produce a car in half. So Tesla will even have their next generation vehicle ready and jumping off the production line probably 3 years before Volkswagen will get their Trinity platform up and running that should be able to keep up with Tesla's old production method and speed of production from 2021. Yeah, it has never been more clear that the old guys are not catching up at all. They are getting left further and further behind. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.